I feel like living in Miami, like, we're predisposed to like a certain attraction level of girl. Like girls here put together, everything like that. But now with social media, girls are also starting to get like, he's got to look like this, he's got to be like this, which I don't think is a bad thing, but the average guy is getting crushed, you know?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I think the average guy's been getting crushed for the past 5 years. But it's like...
I agree with you.
Yeah, it's because of basically the dating market is skewed up. So I'm not sure if you heard of the term hypergamy.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, you know, like the average woman don't necessarily want the average guy. They usually want a few points higher.
Of course.
And so if you are the average guy trying to get an average woman, or especially an attractive woman, you're getting knocked out the game. 100%. You know, so that's why I think the only solution is to try your best to not be average.
It was probably like the top 3 dating pieces, like top dating advice that you give to guys.
Top dating advice, okay. So first, know your dating strategy. So dating, a lot of people approach it, a lot of guys approach it in a way where it's by chance, the woman should just show up at my door, whatever happened could happen, I'm gonna go outside and just randomly meet her. But the way that my mind works and how I had a successful dating life is that I approach it with a strategy. And so I was trying to think of a strategy that gave me the most leverage, the most use of my time. And for me, that was specifically online dating apps, and also social media.
You think dating apps are still like the way to crush it?
So it's the way to crush it if you do it the right way.
I agree. I think that if you look good, if you have a good photo, like that's the biggest real estate on the app. If you have the good photo set up, you're gonna do great. Like on dating apps, I think like 4% of guys are really like murdering it, and then the rest are...
Yeah, but if you take a look at their profiles, you'll see exactly why.
Yeah.
Like they're absolutely horrendous for the most part, and guys either don't know what they don't know, so there's a degree of ignorance there, but also laziness. Okay. Like the amount of effort that guys actually put into themselves and their image is horrible, and this is why I focus on helping guys fix that, to be honest. But yeah, first figure out your dating strategy.
What do you put in the bio, like, just to get into some niche stuff?
So with the bio, let's focus on what you shouldn't do. Yeah. So you shouldn't write an autobiography about yourself, your interests, or what you're looking for. Most guys approach everything super logically, including texting too, but that's a whole nother part of it. But with the bio, we keep it simple. We include 3 nouns or adjectives about yourself that position you in a high status way. So for example, I will put for myself travel, fitness, entrepreneur. And then we would put a little call to action. So you got to think of running your dating app profile like an ad, to where not only do we want to do outbound, but we also want inbound leads messaging us first. Okay. Because I personally have found through my conquest and experience is that whenever a woman messages you first, you have about a 30 to 40% more likely chance of actually meeting up with her. And so we put things in the profile that will actually entice an emotional response for her to send you a message first.
Okay.
And we do that through not only through the pictures, but also the prompts in the bio. So it's going to be individualized for each person, but for the most part, that's sort of the framework we follow.
So a lot of guys, I think you're 100% right. A lot of guys approach it very logically. A lot of women also do the same thing too. They stack their 3 kids, not looking to play games, very serious. Like the whole nonsense. I tell the same thing to women. I think it's the same for men and women, but with girls, I always tell them to make it a little bit more playful. I always say single and ready to mingle, like the strawberry to your margarita, like whatever, some dumb line, you know?
Yeah.
I always say that stuff to allow, because that allows a guy to come in and creates the space. But you think a lot of women are approaching guys at first, like DMing them first?
Yeah, it happens.
So?
Yeah. So here's a big dating myth that guys don't realize, and that is women select and pursue the men that they actually want.
100%, yeah.
And once you have that experience and you see it firsthand, like you can never go back.
Yeah.
Like even talked about like the King 6'8" guy.
I actually was just remembering where I heard that from. It's from Chad.
Oh, Chad said, what do you say?
Chad was the one that said that. He was the one that brought it up. And I'm like, you're 100% right. He made a video on TikTok where it was like, dating is cooked now because the average guy, he's like, his clients are like, oh yeah, I want a girl to approach me, like in the King 6'8" video. Because if you watch like the vlogs and whatnot of these influencers, girls are just approaching him, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they're literally like just leading with their phones.
Mm-hmm.
So he's like, yeah, their clients are coming to them like, yeah, I want that. And he's like, dude, you got to play your lane. If you're not 6'5" and model, like, and sponsored by Ralph Lauren, it's not going to happen like that.
Yeah, so King has a cheat code, right? If you're 6'8", you have a cheat code. Women are likely going to approach you, especially if you have the face to go with it. However, if you are the average guy, the expectation of women to approach you is going to be quite low to unrealistic, or at least women who you're attracted to definitely want to approach you. And so you have to at least learn how to make that connection, which is where social skills come into play. That's still not a guarantee that attraction is going to be there, but you're at least making the invitation. And me and Chad have also had a debate about this a little bit, but do you think you can manufacture attraction with your quote-unquote mouthpiece or with game?
Yeah, 100%. I think I can.
I don't think so.
You don't think you can get a woman to be attracted to you by how you talk?
No.
I 100%. That's what I do. That's my bread and butter, dude.
Like, from the context of if you approach her and she is like not really attracted to you, but also not attracted to you, I think maybe if you have enough time with her, I think your charisma and being in a certain environment, let's say you're with her friends and you spend the whole night with her, yes. But off a 5-minute interaction, I think is very rare unless you were to bring her to a part of what I call your dating funnel. So this would be your Instagram, and then your Instagram makes you
and then sells it for you
more attractive. Yeah.
So I disagree. I think that you can. I think you can talk your way into anything. I'm a big believer in sales, and it's not like you're saying you should like me because I'm a good guy and I'm really cool. You just gotta it's like energy. You know what I mean? Like I think I'm agreeing with you, but also disagreeing with you. Because like in the first 30 seconds of meeting a girl, you can give her the energy. Like, what's up? How you doing? Where you guys from? Okay, cool. Why guys? Who's celebrating? Okay, who's the party of the group? I gotta stay away from you because I'm a homebody. Like I can immediately, they may think like, okay, this is some short. Indian guys get the worst rep. Okay, we're. I was at a coffee shop yesterday and the girl was like, "You're the best dressed Indian guy I've met," and I'm like, dude, like this, I don't dress that nice. Yeah. So I was like, this is bad. But I think that you can talk to them, and then obviously, if you get more time, if you're stranded on an island with any girl, she's gonna fall in love with you, theoretically. Like
of course, yeah.
But if within the first 30 to 40 seconds, if you're sharp and you're well spoken and your energy is there, but you're not so like obsessive and you're not like so needy, it typically like creates some level of interest. Like where she doesn't like you or doesn't hate you. That's how it works for me.
Yeah, it's like medium interest. She's intrigued, maybe even curious, but like, so I have a rule. Maybe it's my own personal dating strategy is that I only deal with high interest off the rip.
You're more of like a magnet, I feel like.
Yeah, it's like, because I'm not trying to talk to a woman for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks before she goes out on a first date with me. So it's like, if I'm trying to optimize to go out on a date within 24 to 48 hours, the attraction or interest has to already be there.
And I agree with that, but this is the reality. I would never recommend 4, 5, 6 weeks to talk. I would never recommend too long. I'm a quick convert, get her to the date, like, get her out, hey, let's go, let's meet up tonight, But at the same time, like, a lot of guys can't manufacture that off the rip. But what girls, you ever hear like girls say like, I didn't like him at first, but then when I started to get to know him, like, just like that kind of stuff.
Exactly, they had to get to know him. That's what I'm saying. If you have enough time with her and you see her often, this is why a lot of workplace relationships are formed.
Yes.
Like, you're just a coworker, they're not even into you, but then
friends and family.
Yeah, over the course of 6 months, after hanging out 6 hours a day for 5 days a week, it's like, oh, I like this guy now. Yeah,
100%. Because you're used to him, he's comfortable to you. But I think that you can, back to your question, I think you can manufacture some type of, like, I guess what's like, it's definitely a case-by-case thing, but generally speaking, like, if you put me in a room with a girl, I'm confident enough where I can talk to her and I can get her to like me. Mm-hmm. Like, it just is what it is. And even if she doesn't like me, it's like, I can still get her to like me more than she did before.
Yeah.
And I think game is like, we're in Miami, man. There's a lot of guys that have money. They may even have the looks, but they don't have any game at all. They can't talk to women. Yeah. They don't know how to not be needy or not be obsessive, and it ends up fucking up the whole thing.
No, I agree with that. Yeah, I'm not saying game isn't important, because it definitely is. A lot of guys have the misconception that, if you're tall, attractive, and or rich, you don't need game.
You need game.
But you definitely need game, otherwise you're going to get used or just overall taken advantage of.
There's guys that are like not necessarily the best physically looking. They may not even have the most money, but they know how to talk to women. And I think the biggest place that game is like shown, it sounds bad, but like in like college, if you can, like, college is a great like case study of like, I just see guys that like don't have anything, they have nothing going for them, and then they just start getting a lot of attention from women, and they can do it because college is just a game-based zone. Money doesn't matter, status doesn't matter. Status theoretically in like your class, but I don't know.
Yeah, I think in college that is a status game a bit. And the reason is because if you notice, within every bubble there's a status hierarchy, especially in school. So college, you got your frat boys, you got your athletes, and the guy who's an athlete or in one of the top frats, he's going to get a lot more play than the random guy court approaching 20 women a day.
It's a status play for sure. You're 100% right. What would you say? What would you say the biggest misconception is right now? Like things that men think are good, but that are actually bad. I got my own thing. I'll start if you want me to.
I would say focusing too much on looks maxing. So looks maxing is a trend in which you make yourself more attractive, which is very important. But a lot of guys get stuck there. So they think, okay, once I looks max, once I increase my looks by a few points, women are just going to come flocking, and they don't work on the other weaknesses a part of their game. And so I just call it the looks maxing trap. I think it's a big misconception. It's the first part, but it's not the only part. And I think it's within my bubble and the guys I work with, that's what they think that they need to do. But then they do that and realize, oh man, there's more to it.
Yeah.
So
I would say like making a lot of money is not always going to get you a girl. Like that's a big misconception. Like guys think like once I become a millionaire, once I drive this car, especially like here in Miami, like everyone's got a car that's better than yours. Someone's got more money than you. And that might might not even get you a look. Like me driving a G-Wagon, like, dude, people have them here left and right.
Yeah, it's
like,
normal traffic.
It's normal, yeah. So I think that's the first thing. Also, I think like taking a girl on a date. What do you think about that? Like, I get a lot of heat for this one thing that I do. And I'm known for it a little bit, but like I always say take her on a coffee date first. And what I mean is when I first meet a girl, my dating strategy for a lot of guys and girls is this. Go on a smoothie, go on a walk, go on a coffee date first. 30, 40-minute interaction. It's quick. You're not going to be like tied down to it because as a guy taking a girl on a date, it's like a huge financial commitment and time commitment.
Exactly.
And for the girl, even I say it for girls, like, dude, you're going to go out in public with a guy you don't know, sitting across from an interrogation style. There's no physical touch. So the kiss at the end of the night is awkward. And the next thing you know, the food might be bad. You can't even hear him. You go to Kiki on the River, you can't even hear anybody across from you.
No, I absolutely agree. I preach no dinner first dates, no dates that are too formal. I think first dates should be low investment, but where I kind of don't disagree is daytime dates. So I'm not a fan of daytime dates, which coffee usually leans more towards like a daytime date.
Yes.
And it comes off a little too platonic. So what I recommend is you still do low investment, meaning that you're not spending that much money or even that much time, but you opt more for like a bar, a lounge. Okay. You can go get smoothies and take a walk.
That's what
Ideally, sunset and later. Just because like the time frame of the date sets more of a romantic intention.
Yeah, you're 100% right. I never thought of it that way. I always say, they're like, what if I don't drink coffee? Like, I'm like, you don't have to do coffee. You could go smoothie, walk. You could grab a drink if you want to. Like maybe they drink. So you're the same mindset with that.
Yeah.
It's good to hear that.
Yeah, and I work with like guys who have a lot of money. Like I was working with this one guy. He did an exit for a huge dog walking business he started up. And then another guy had another trading company making $300K a month. And so they're in the mindset in which it's not like it's like $5 to me to take a woman out to Nobu on the first date.
Yes.
And I'm like, I do understand that.
But it's not good, regardless.
Yeah.
It sets the tone for, because it might be $5 to you, but for her, it's like, this guy's spending on me, and he's, I guess, investing into me, which in theory is a positive, but it's also like, it also can create a very bad, like she can become trained to just look at you as a dollar sign.
Exactly.
Which is what I don't like.
Yeah, and I would rather them opt for genuine desire meaning that you don't necessarily have to lead with an experience in order for the woman to go out with you. Because one, that creates the expectation of constant experiences or dinners or whatever. And two, it's a question of whether or not does she actually really like you. And you'll be surprised. Some guys I work with, they actually don't care if the girl likes them. They just want to get them out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just like because they've never been that far.
Yeah, maybe.
Well, let me ask you this. Okay, so your whole thing is, okay, so I'm a firm believer if a girl likes you, she'll pull up to your house at 2 a.m. and just sit in front of the steps with you and talk to you.
Yeah.
But not all girls are going to do that out of pride, out of social, like their friends are going to be like, don't do that. That's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
But like for a lot of the guys that can't get a girl to go on the coffee date or can't get a girl to go on the smoothie date, what would you recommend?
I would recommend a lounge, drinks, hookah, somewhere where they can vibe. Maybe food trucks, alley, maybe small plates, tapa at the least. But to be honest, if she isn't down to go to a low investment place for you, then I would likely end the interaction there.
And so, I'm trying to think, like if she's not down to do that and she's like, you have to take me on a date, that's like my standard, what would you say to the girl? Because there's a lot of girls like that.
Yeah, I'd be like, it's nice to know you. See ya.
That's good.
I would simply walk away. Yeah, so I'm in, and this is one thing I teach guys too, is to really operate in that abundance mentality. And it's because like you are going to have to walk away from women who don't cooperate with what you want, your standards. So I'm a big believer if the woman has to fall within your frame as a man. And if
Go ahead.
Now, I was going to say, if you switch what you usually do and you start operating with in her frame, that's a subtle way of how she starts emasculating you, and that will carry over as time goes on. So,
do you show a girl that you have money on, like, or that you're successful on the first date?
No. They can tell I'm dressed nice or whatever, but I'm not out here flexing or anything like that. No.
You think it's beneficial?
Yeah, discovery trumps disclosure. I think if they discover things about you.
That's fire. I like that line.
Yeah, they discover things about you versus you trying to show it off. I feel like it hits a little harder.
You know what's crazy? I'll go to personal. So obviously on my Instagram, like if I'm approaching girls on my Instagram, it's kind of like I don't like it as much because they can see that I have certain cars. They can see I live a certain place. They can see the followers, and it can sometimes you just don't know. Like obviously the result is still the same. Like you could still get the girl, but like there's not a real raw connection because sometimes you know that she's just into you for X, Y, and Z. So I created like a spoof Instagram, like a regular Instagram, right?
Oh, okay.
Like 300 followers, right? Legit. It's
interesting.
And I love, cause I show it to my clients too. They're like, oh, I don't have as many followers as you. I'm like, bro, I got my Instagram right here, and this is where I really like.
That's where you bring all the leads, huh?
This is where I do my leads at, yeah.
Yeah.
And it does have that photo. I should probably take it off, but I wanted to see the difference. I was experimenting, but this is where I can, like, Miami or wherever. I'm like, yeah, this is my Instagram, and I've gotten like mixed reviews. I think it definitely doesn't work as well. Some girls like it because they're like, I like that you don't have social media. I'm like, oh shit, wait till you find out. Like, but
yeah.
I feel like even when I pull up on the first date, I pull up in like more regular car, like my A to B, like I got an Acura SUV that I pull up in.
Okay.
It's just a lot more chill. What do you think of, like, what's your first date kind of mechanism that you go into it?
Yeah, so once again, I'm not a big believer in showing off your assets if you do have something to show off. So if you have a nice car, don't like, oh, let me pick you up, or try to obscenely show it off. Definitely go a little bit more humble. And maybe, second, third date, once she actually proves that she likes you, you can start showcasing more of your assets and your lifestyle. But with the Instagram thing, I actually use my Instagram to my advantage, because by the time they get to my Instagram, based on my dating strategy, I already know they like me.
Yeah.
But now, when they see my Instagram, they're gonna like me even more. So that's the way I look at it. I think your Instagram should work for you. I'm not sure if I would necessarily handicap myself in trying to.
You want the results.
Yeah.
Let me ask you about your dating life, because I don't think a lot of people have ever. I've seen like all your content, dude. I've seen all your stuff, and nobody really asks you about what you do on a personal level.
Yeah.
So what's going on, man? Spill the beans, man.
Yeah, I'll spill the beans. So it was 2019 when I started really learning about dating. I went through every phase of every type of relationship you can have. So I've done friends with benefits. I've done rotations, having 3, 4 women at a time.
What do you think about that?
It's
I hate that.
it's pretty
Exhausting.
it's exhausting. Yes, it provided a lot of dopamine because
Yes.
I had a girl who was good for
Every day.
different things. This girl would cook for me. This girl would be nice to go out because we look good together. This girl, would do different things. But after a while, it does get exhausting. It gets pretty expensive, and emotions get involved.
Yeah.
So even if you're honest with them, which I usually always was, it brought a degree of stress because I knew certain girl was starting to like me a lot. She would start FaceTiming me randomly. I had a girl show up unannounced before.
Oh, that's bad.
So when
So you live
emotions,
in the high rises.
yeah, they no access, right? But when emotions start getting involved, that's when it gets a little tricky. And then if you're doing it right, the woman's always going to want some degree of commitment, always.
Yeah.
And so that's when you got to either sell her the dream or just cut it off right there, or just be completely, really brutally honest if that's not something you want to do. So I have my fair share of that. Nowadays, I've actually, through the volume of women I've dated, you'll inevitably come across a woman who you actually like.
Yeah.
From an attraction standpoint, but also what she does for you, the value she brings. And so it was late 2021. I met this woman in which she started off as purely just a rotation, casual thing, but over time she has proven herself so worthy and has done so much for me that she has now elevated to that of more of a girlfriend status. So it's actually, I'm still talking to her now.
That's what's up.
It's been about 4 or 5 years. She helps me out with my business. She knows exactly what I do. I'm very honest with her. She knows about my dating life. I've been very transparent with her, and she has been very, very good. So that was never the plan, but after going through so much trash, and if you date enough, you will know that how much trash there is out there. When you do come across a gem, you really don't want to let them go.
Yeah.
And so I decided to keep her around, and we've been pretty good ever since. And to be honest, I've lost a desire of like sleeping with random women or doing rotations. So now I just kind of chill with her, focus with her, and help my clients out. And that's what I'm primarily doing right now. It's been a new shift for me, keep in mind, but for the next phase of my life, that's where I see things more going.
What's the worst heartbreak you went through? And how did it help you, how did it change your mindset towards dating? Because I know guys that go through heartbreak and they're like, women are whores. Fuck women.
Yeah. So the thing about all my girlfriends is that I've never been broken up with.
Really?
I've always ended the relationship first. I've always.
How do you end it?
It's like, I can't even remember. It's like after a while, I felt like it's always on me. Like I just start losing interest, and everything they do starts to annoy me. You kind of start distancing yourself.
Yeah.
And so I think through conversations, like we just start getting space, and then there's usually something that like makes it really official. So my first girlfriend, we were in college, she ended up moving. So it's like, bam, okay, it's over.
Yeah.
And then my second girlfriend, I ended up moving to Orlando. So it was like, boom, that's set in stone. But I had a situationship in like 2019 in which it was a girl who I wanted to take seriously really bad, but I knew that I couldn't change her, and that's what brought the heartbreak. So she was essentially a pretty promiscuous girl.
She liked to go out, party.
She liked to go out, party. She would do things behind my back, but tell me that she was only seeing me.
Yeah.
Ended up going through her phone one night, which I shouldn't have done.
You recommend going through the phone?
I think you're only going to find the truth in the phone. I don't recommend that you go through it unless you have really, really plausible deniability, if that's the word.
I never recommend going through the phone, because if you feel like you have to go through it, if it's like a situationship and she's telling you something, that's one thing, but like if you're dating a girl and you feel the need to go through her phone, like there's a reason that, and it's probably cooked right there.
Yeah, exactly. That's true. Like if you're in a serious relationship, I don't recommend going through it. Like you should have that trust and loyalty already built. But in this case, it was a perfect scenario. I mean, she was drunk. She gave me her phone, and she drunkenly told me her phone password. And I was at a club, and I went in the bathroom.
And you went through that shit.
I remember going through her text, and bro, she saw another guy like literally the night before. The guy was like texting her like, oh, I love that back rub you gave me in the shower last night. And I'm like,
you're heartbroken.
It was like shocking to read, but at the same time, it was surprising because like she was so going out her way to tell me how she's only seeing me, how she's busy with school, but then she's like sleeping with other men. I mean, it was more than one guy too. She was sleeping with other men at the same time. So
that's terrible.
Yeah.
So how did that change? Do you kind of caution guys on like what kind of girls that they should approach? So like, I'm a client, right? I got the looks down. I'm making money. I'm ready, man. I'm ready. You know, I got girls in my life, but like I want to find the right one. What are some characteristics and archetypes that you tell them to look for?
Oh, feminine, cooperative. Does she listen? You really want to look for the signs of femininity.
Okay.
So her being sweet, soft, not being aggressive, hard, and her listening to you. Like the girl who I talked about, who I've been seeing this whole time, like everything was flawless.
Yeah.
She's never flaked on me. She's always showed up on time. She provided value to my life really fast, meaning like helping me in areas in which could save me time or money that I didn't realize that I need.
Uh-huh.
So just helping out. But for the most part, if I had to leave, one tip is simply like look for signs of feminine cues. Soft, what's the word? Gracious, being graceful, and sweet. As simple as that.
So let me ask you this: because a lot of guys ask me, right? How do I know if my girl is cheating on me? How do I know if my girl's cheating on me? How do I know that she's not out here seeing other men, especially in like the early stages of talking?
Yeah.
My philosophy is, look, always assume that you're talking to an attractive girl, a good-looking girl. The chances of her talking to another guy are very high, right? It just is what it is.
Yeah.
Or at least guys that are approaching her and trying to solicit her attention.
Yeah.
How do you get a guy, like a lot of guys get stuck there. They get mentally like they want to find a good girl. So I give them this advice, like either if you want to find a really good girl, bro, go overseas, which I'm going to ask you about this too. Or like, you got to go overseas like India or like Saudi. You got to go to Arabic areas.
Yeah.
Or you're just going to have to accept the fact that girls, you want to find a virgin, bro, they don't exist anymore.
Yeah, I wouldn't have your hopes of finding a virgin unless you're deep in the Catholic Church or something. Even then is not even guaranteed.
Yeah.
Because even virgins still get blowjobs.
Yeah. What do you think about the passport bros thing?
I think it's a cop-out, to be honest.
You don't like it?
I don't like it. I do understand it from a logical perspective, like, okay, go overseas and find a more feminine woman, but at the same time, like, I feel like they don't really like you.
Exactly.
Like, they only like you, one, because of what you can provide and getting them out of that situation. If those women were put in a first world country, they wouldn't even bat an eye at you. And so I think it goes back to genuine desire, like I mentioned before. Like, if they're not genuinely interested in me for me and not only what I can provide, then it's a no for me. And I feel like changing my whole location just to attract a woman like that is a bit far-fetched. I mean,
I also think that there's a lot of problems that come with that. So here's a dark side, because I think a lot of people glorify it, but I made a video about this where it's like the dark side of passport bros, right? And it's like, first and foremost, you have no idea what you're dealing with. Like, absolutely no clue. Like, you don't know. We meet a girl in Montana, we could check out our Facebook, we know a few friends. Like, there's some research that we can do. We could theoretically visit her high school or whatever. Like, you know, you could do stuff like that. When you're doing that overseas, a lot of guys go there and they just try to grab a girl, pick her up, and then bring her to you're running the risk of divorce. When you bring her to America, she's gonna get Americanized. Like, I know a lot of guys that bring their passport girl over here and she immediately becomes, because they're attractive girls and they come here and they realize like, oh, you have me cooking, cleaning, doing all this shit for you. And half the girls here don't even do that, you know?
Yeah.
It don't even make sense. But there's a dark side to it, so you don't recommend it whatsoever.
Don't recommend it, no. But I see why guys do it. It's a bit nuanced to it. It's not necessarily black and white, but for myself, and if I had a son, like, I wouldn't recommend it. Because I think it's a skill issue.
When's the best time to start dating? And when's the best time to settle down?
Once again, a little bit more nuanced, but if I had to pick a time, I think the best time would be, for most men to settle down would be probably mid-30s. I think at that time frame, you've come more deeper into your career or what you're going to do. Usually you're more established financially and socially. Ideally, you also have gathered experience with women too to see what you like, what you don't like, what's good, what's bad. And so during that time frame, usually that's best. And also, a lot of guys don't realize, like, if you do want to have kids, much like women do have a biological clock too, but men
do as well.
You do as well, meaning your sperm quality actually reduces like past the age of 35.
Yep, 100%.
And so I would recommend to have kids between like maybe 32 to 36,
Yeah.
ideally, if you wanted to do everything right, you know.